tonight. President Buhari declares 5th October as International Day of Older Persons in Nigeria. College of Education Zuba to become University of Education. And Muslims reminded to repeatedly seek Allah's forgiveness. A very good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Channel 5 News at 7. I am Miriam Emekamadi. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has called for unity and peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliyu stated this when she led ambassadors of Voice for Change on a roadshow along major streets of Abuja. Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
The Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, while calling on youth to fight for the emancipation of Nigeria and for the country to regain its rightful place in Committee of Nations through the provision of infrastructure, quality education and service delivery, reminded them that it is everybody's duty to save their common patrimony.
Maybe we need to remind ourselves that though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. We cannot achieve it by being divided. Unity, the strength of character, the resolve to say Nigeria has come to stay, that we are Nigerians and we do not want to change it.
Secretary FCT Social Development Secretariat Hadiza Kabir commended the ambassadors of Voice for Change for organizing the peace campaign. She also pledged the Social Development Secretariat's commitment to continue to support initiatives that would bring meaningful development to the society. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammad Buhari has announced 5th October every year as International Day of Older Persons in Nigeria other than 1st October. The president, represented by the Minister of the Interior, Rauf Arebosola, stated this during the first Presidential Summit on Aging and Awards in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia reports that this was organized by the National Citizens Center.
Nigeria and the Buhari administration have been commended for a number of efforts and the political will that have culminated to creating a roadmap and a development strategic plan that is now given the desired voice and attention to senior citizens in the country. This event, for the first time in history, is bringing relevant stakeholders together to forge a stronger force under a thematic focus of building a generational synergies for inclusive, cohesive and sustainable communities.
The federal government of Nigeria is committed to effectively mobilize human and capital resources needed to develop the appropriate mechanisms that will be geared towards promoting, providing and ensuring access to basic social services of older persons.
To ensure that the fundamental human rights of older persons are upheld and protected.
May I express sincere and profound appreciation to the President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari.
President Buhari and some senior citizens were recognized for distinguished public service and support for the cause of the older persons in the country, with speakers and partners highlighting that such strides so far is in line with international best practice.
So the senior citizens have been promised a lot. We have seen the roadmap now, and we know that most senior citizens in this country, their suffering will come to pass. And we're very happy that this thing has come to stay. The Senior Citizen Center must be a place that, just like the President has said, should be established in other states.
I was overwhelmed. I am more happy.
Parts of the assurances given by the government to curb elder abuse in Nigeria is one that guarantees quality of life as well as welfare for the senior citizens which will be done through a database of all older persons, including a reduction in the cost of living for them. In the spirit of the celebration, food items were donated to some senior citizens. Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
The FCT Agriculture and Rural Development has restated the commitment of the FCT administration to the attainment of food security. The Secretary Abubakar made this known in Kuje Area Council during his tour of projects under the Secretariat. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
The FCT Agriculture and Rural Development Secretary Abubakar Ibrahim made it known that the administration is determined to not only address the issue of hunger, but create employment opportunities for the teeming population of the city. At the FCT Veterinary Clinic, the Secretary charged the veterinary health personnel to keep doing their best in the delivery of efficient services while assuring them of looking into ways of upgrading veterinary health facilities to modern standards. Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
The FCT Area Council Staff Pension Board has commenced biometric verification exercise for defined benefit scheme pensioners of FCT Area Council and local education authorities. Mariam George Jitubo, who visited some verification centers, has the details.
For this senior citizen, Adamu Mamman, like any other pensioner, this is not an academic exercise but an examination that gives access to his financial savings as required by the FCT Area Council Staff Pension Board.
For my own, I thank this Minister of Federal Government because we have never seen 1 month that is left without paying.
They help us all the time. But our problem now, making a try for increase our money small so that everything don't cost past our power now.
This is going smoothly without any problem.
The director, Nanzing Ndeng, maintains that this biometric exercise is one of the valid requirements needed to authenticate the pensioners and weed out ghost pensioners from the payroll.
The verification exercise was approved by the Honorable Minister Dr. Martin Aliu to verify pensioners under the defined benefit scheme. We advise pensioners to turn up on good time. We don't intend to waste their time, and they should abide by protocol of the committee.
This exercise, the board says, will run for 3 days across the 6 area councils. Mariam George Jitubo, NTA News.
The FCT College of Education Zuba to become University of Education. Secretary for Education Sani Dahiru El Katuzu gave the hint while briefing the media on the scorecard of the Secretariat in Abuja. Shuaibu Onozi Yakubu tells us more.
Improving teachers' welfare and their working conditions, as well as ensuring the security of pupils and students in FCT schools, are some of the measures the Secretariat will adopt to enhance the education system in the territory. On the conversion of the FCT College of Education Zuba to the University of Education, the Secretary disclosed that arrangements have been concluded to ensure the actualization of the establishment of the institution, as well as the commencement of academic activities at the FCT University of Science and Technology.
It is part of our strategic plans to accomplish the following. 1. To prioritize teachers' welfare and improve their working conditions. 2. To ensure that the security of our students, teachers, and assets are further strengthened with introduction of relevant technologies, particularly for schools in vulnerable locations. To transform FCT College of Education Zuba to FCT University of Education Zuba. To establish at least 1 polytechnic in the FCT.
He added that the Secretariat will begin to adopt the use of multimedia learning process through its expanded training programs, which lasted for 5 weeks in schools, while expressing concern over lack of perimeter fenced wall in some schools in the FCT. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Institute of Management, NAME, has appealed to government to step up efforts at enhancing the blueprint on education and health to better the lives of Nigerians. The former president of the institute, Dr. Sali Bolujoko, made this known at the institute's 2021 Corporate Dinner Award organized by the name Untitled Chapter in Abuja. Rosemary Motalang-Bila reports.
While describing the institute as a watchdog for management practices that sets and upgrades standards of management in the country, and the FCT chapter chairman of NIMD said the dinner is to avail the institute the opportunity to bring corporate organizations together to discuss Nigerian management.
The offices themselves, companies themselves lack funds to provide necessary tools for professionals. They lack tools. Where they want to give you tools, they lack. Where leaders collapse, you don't even, some group of people, a percentage, pack away the money, so there will be no tools.
In Nigeria, we need to put in our own quota by letting our people know how to get management of men, materials, and resources done very well.
This is an opportunity to say well done and keep on the good job.
A high point of the event was presentation of award to all those who have made remarkable impact in excellent management in the country.
Quite happy that in the little way that we're working in our own corner of the country, that we're being recognized for what we're doing.
I'm happy to associate with them because they are serious and they're making serious contributions to nation building.
The Nigerian Institute of Management has been existing for over 60 years in Nigeria. Rosemary Motalang-Bila, NTA News.
Now to latest on COVID-19, figures from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and CDC as of 16 December 2021 indicate 238 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT. The number of confirmed cases stands at 24,437, while active cases now 924, and the number of discharged cases stands at 23,289, and 224 deaths have been recorded in the FCT. And now on today's Juma, seek Allah's forgiveness, overcome challenges confronting the nation. This was the thrust of the sermon at today's Juma prayer presented by the Deputy Chief Imam of Area 10 Mosque, Ustaz Mohammed Jamilu Othman. Shuaibu Onozo Yakubu was there and brought back this report.
Making reference to the relevant verses of the glorious Quran and the prophetic traditions, the Deputy Chief Imam of Area 10 Jumat Mosque, Ustaz Muhammad Jamilu Uthman, reminds Muslims on the need to turn to God in repentance to overcome challenges bedeviling the country. He advised Nigerians to support government by doing the right things at all times.
The khutbah is reminding us that there are some important supplications that the Prophet ﷺ taught us, and we have to go back to these supplications so that our current situation of the country, which in terms of insecurity, poverty and other challenges, inshallah ta'ala, will be overcome by this. And at the same time, we called the attention of Muslim Ummah that it is a duty upon all of us to see what contribution can we give, what support can we give in overcoming these problems.
He led the congregation to pray for the nation and its leaders. Shuaibu Onozo Yakubu, NTA News.
Now everybody knows I'm the man. Ooh, happy man. Ooh,
enjoy the reward that sharing brings with the AIRTEL family plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now.
Now everybody knows I'm the man. Hey,
AIRTEL, the smartphone network.
And on the sports scene, the Confederation of African Football officials say vaccination and COVID-19 tests are required for the African Cup of Nations fans as Liverpool shrugged off COVID-19 to beat Newcastle 3-1. Let's join Farida Issa Adamu with details on Sports Brief.
Supporters attending next month's Africa Cup of Nations matches in Cameroon will be required to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination and present a negative COVID-19 test result. This announcement was made in a joint statement signed by Cameroon's Minister for Sport and Health, as well as the Confederation of African Football, CAF General Secretary. This is coming at a time of growing speculations that the tournaments could be cancelled or postponed again. Meanwhile, Liverpool shrugged off a coronavirus outbreak to keep their Premier League title challenge on track with a 3-1 win over Newcastle that was lit up by Trent Alexander-Arnold's wonder goal. The Red lost Virgil van Dijk and Fabinho with positive cases of COVID before kickoff as a surge of infections across Britain threatens to bring the season to a temporary halt. In racing, Mercedes has withdrawn their appeal against Formula One over the race that stirred debate and drove scrutiny that saw Max Verstappen crowned world champion, while denying Mercedes British driver Lewis Hamilton a record 8th F1 championship. With Sports Brief, Farida Issa Adamu, NTA News.
And just before we go, do remember to take your COVID-19 vaccine and adhere strictly to safety protocols to keep safe. That's the news in English. Translation is next. Stay with us.
Izo kwa wewe na iwo abadazaza ishandaje zuma onewa gobagnai tuntukoda Muhammadu Buhari wagage mwamwapya kone anpye kun atun nanu aye de hei kolaz yinpye azakwenya no abajin apababa nchei onko gbolo no yinpye kunsin mwamwapya ibe bwa lele no apabui akun Abdullahi Ajia nwale shiba webe na badai wagage minister atun amia Raouf are Besola wone dadenu Buhari apota zanu ya jiye pya kunsin tukotunu azakoibo azaba kutun jimba kutashin gwamnati ya mwabaye bakube ye jiye nkwen ayepe zain ba ayati mba ginlonu zibayin ayelo azoko ayepe zain ba adnagbanya nanu ayitin zinaye nkwen Shaibu Oneze Yakubu nwale shiba wobe na bedai wagenge nya kaya kai sepaya na yo sani Dahiru El Kasatu woni da de nkoi nsai nwobe gin we ga nya dokuche no oba tun jimba nchei wengage abo no sepaya jin kwa jin lo okonge ayelo awo agmada anya winya azagu sepa nchedena abaje ayengage oza nshekwasu ntna we nkobelen ayekpezan ba mba ginle nzibai abezeba ayekpezan ba adnagban nshekwaji waye iba shekoyi na baige wazei abui ntukotunu abebo mba shefi ajelo ba yije bodnanu ekinyin Shaibu Oneze Yakubu wagage dekwen ekonbe jin beda kpekele asanu shekohwenu maji no asalaji ba peje enko ginlo ngun awen no ayo Mohammed Jamilu Otman ye jin apmache sawo be jin we go shoko be dagan nche wela apeje ba nwa beye nkwa dabeda ntuko tunu abuyebo wela be pache asalada nge ikin akoko na ba ya badada na ba ge abba we fuafua na jin ba nanu ekin nkwen abo babwa wolelanu saiko nai
Jama'a barkanmu da wannan lokaci ga fasaran takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Shuaibu Onozi Yakubu. Shugaban kasa Muhammadu Buhari ya kibe ranar 5 ga watan Oktoba na kowane shekara ranar tunawa da dattawa a Najeriya. Wannan sabon ranar da ya saba da ranar dattawa na ranar da aka kebe na 1 da watan Oktoba. Shugaban kasa wanda ya sami wakilcin ministan harkokin cikin gida Rauf Aregbesola shi ne ya sanar da haka a wajen taron kaddamar da dattawan da aka yi a Abuja. Wakilinmu Abdullahi Hajiya ya kawo rahoto cewa an yaba wa shugaba Buhari domin karama dattawan kasan nan. An raba kayayyakin abinci wa dattawan a wajen taro domin inganta rayuwarsu. Shugaban ma'aikatan ilimi na Abuja Sani Dahiru Elkatuzu ya sanar cewa an kammala shirye-shiryen maido kolejin ilimin nan na zuwa jami'a na ilimi nan ba da jimawa ba. Shugaba Elkatuzu ya sanar da haka ne a hiransa da manema labarai a lokacin da yake ba da bahasin nasarori da ma'aikatan ta cima cikin wannan shekara. Ya ce hukumar za ta inganta rayuwar malamai da fannin ilimi, inda kuma aka riga aka kammala shirye-shiryen wurin fara koyar da karatu a makarantun gwamnati na Abuja ta hanyar amfani da yanar gizo. A wani labarin kuma mataimakin limamin masallacin Juma'a na Garkishiya na Goma, Ustaz Muhammad Jamilu Usman ya tunar da 'yan Najeriya da su zama masu yawan neman tuba daga Allah, wanda ya ce zai yi sanadiyar samo magance matsaloli da ke addaban kasan nan. Wannan tunatarwar shi ne kunshe cikin hutuban sallan Juma'a da ya jagorta yau. Mataimakin limamin ya bukaci da matasan kasan nan da su zama masu kiyaye miyagun ayyuka da kuma bin dokokin shugabanni domin samo sahida baki daya. Ustaz Jamilu Usman ya jagorci addu'a ta musamman wa kasan nan da shugabanninsu. Ta jama'a abin da ya sauka kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
Nnọọ n'akụkọ ụwa nke taa, aha m bụ Rachel Ifi Onu. Tọọ ntị n'ala nara anyị akụkọ anyị ji bịa n'uhuruchi a. Onye isi ala anyị Muhammadu Buhari ekwupụtala n'abalị 5 nke ọnwa Ọktoba ọbụla kwa afọ bụ ụbọchị ncheta ndị megoro agadi. Abdullahi Hajiya wetara akụkọ na onye na-anọchite anya onye isi ala anyị Rauf Aregbesola kwupụtara nke a mgbe ha nwere nzukọ mbụ maka ndị agadi n'isi ala anyị bụ nke ụlọọrụ National Senior Citizens Center haziri. Ọ gakwara n'ihu kwuo na ya bụ nzukọ gbadoro ụkwụ n'ụzọ dị iche iche a ga-esi leta ndị agadi anya dịka ịkwalite ọdịmma ha, isepụrụ ha ego n'ihe ndị ha ji ebi ndụ. Ọ gbakwunyekwara na enyere ha nri na ihe iti aka n'obi ndị ọzọ. Adịla njikere ime ụlọ akwụkwọ kọleji bụ ebe a na-enweta nzere NCE akpọrọ College of Education mahadum agụmakwụkwọ. Shuaibu Onozi Yakubu wetara akụkọ na odeakwụkwọ n'ihe banyere agụmakwụkwọ Sani Dahiru Elkatuzu kwupụtara nke a mgbe ya na ndị nta akụkọ na-enwe mkparịta ụka. Ya bụ nwa amadi mekwara ka anyị mata na ha adịla njikere ịmalite ya bụ mahadum nakwa mahadum nke teknọlọji dị na isi ala anyị. Agbaala ndị okpukpe Islam ume ka ha laghachikwute Allah maka mgbaghara mmehie ha n'ihi na ọ ga-enye aka gbochie ihe ịma aka ndị a na-enwe n'ala anyị. Shuaibu Onozi Yakubu wetara akụkọ na nke a bụ ihe onye imam nke ụlọ okpukpe ha dị na AIRTEL Ustaz Muhammad Jamilu Usman jiri mere okwu Chukwu ya dịka taa bụ ụbọchị ha na-ekpe ekpere maka Jumat. Ya bụ imam gakwara n'ihu dụọ ha ọdụ ka ha kwado gọọmenti n'ime ihe ndị ziri ezi. Onye ọma na-ege ntị, ọ gwụla ka ọ ha anyị n'ọnụ. chebiri anyị n'ihe oge izu ụka na-abịa. Ndewo.
Kalẹ̀ o àsìkò dédé wòyí ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín Mobọ́lájí Mátì ní oníròyìn. Ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ti pa láṣẹ wípé ọjọ́ 4 oṣù Ọ̀wà lọ́dọọdún ti fìdí múlẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọjọ́ àwọn àgbààgbà tàgbáyé ní orílẹ̀-èdè. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Abdullahi Ajiya ròyìn wípé aláṣẹ ètò abẹ́lé Raufu Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá ló gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún kalẹ̀ níbi ìjókòó àkọ́kọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àgbààgbà àti ètò àpọ́nlé ní ìlú Àbújá. Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn àgbààgbà àti ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ló tẹ́wọ́ gba àmì àpọ́nlé fún iṣẹ́ rere tí wọ́n gbé ṣe. Ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ètò ìfẹ̀kọ́kọ́ni tó ń bẹ ní agbègbè Zuba yóò padà di ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ṣùwáìbù Ọ̀nàsì Yakubu ròyìn wípé akọ̀wé agbo ètò ẹ̀kọ́ l'Àbújá Sani Dairu Katuzu ló sọ èyí di mímọ̀ lásìkò tó ń bá àwọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ohun tí agbo ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ti gbé ṣe. Ó tẹ̀síwájú sí wípé ohun gbogbo ti dúró gírí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò gbogbo, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lórí ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ti ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ àti ìjìnlẹ̀. Ká tọrọ àforíjì lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba kí a lè borí àwọn ìṣòro tó ń da orílẹ̀-èdè láàmú. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ṣùwáìbù Ọ̀nàsì Yakubu ròyìn wípé èyí ni kókó ọ̀rọ̀ nínú wàásù Jímọ̀ tòní láti ẹnu igbákejì lèmọ́mù àgbà mọ́ṣáláṣí Jímọ̀ ẹkùn kẹwàá Ustaz Muhammad Jamilu Uthman. Ó rọ gbogbo jọ̀mọ́ láti ronúpìwàdà kí wọ́n lè borí ìṣòro gbogbo tó ń jẹyọ ní orílẹ̀-èdè. Ó ké sí gbogbogbò láti ti ìjọba lẹ́yìn nípasẹ̀ ohun tó tọ́ àti ohun tí a gbọ́dọ̀ pèsè. Àdúrà pàtàkì wáyé fún orílẹ̀-èdè àti àwọn aṣíwájú, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni fún gbogbo ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè lápapọ̀. Tó a ò rí jù báyìí lọ́sẹ̀ yìí títí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ní àṣẹ Olódùmarè. Ojúmọ́ ire ni yóò